Okay, everyone, we'll go ahead and get started and let Kurt make an opening statement after tonight's 76-62 win over the Las Vegas Aces. The Sun are 3-0 over the Aces from the 3-game series and have clinched the playoffs tonight. Kurt, you can go ahead and make your opening statement.
A huge win for us. So proud of our effort, our tenacity, our toughness tonight against an elite team. They average 90 points. They play with the fastest pace. They're the league leaders in points and paint. You name it, offensively, analytically, they're the best in the league, and they get great depth. And so for us to hold them again in the 60s, just a credit to how hard we played at that end of the floor. Offensively, while we were tired in stretches, really pleased that we just tried to keep in attack mode. 3 January, huge night for us offensively. Dewana, made some big plays. So just an overall team effort. It's not going to show up in the box score with our 4 bench players today, but each one of them brought something really unique and really valuable tonight. Beatrice's offensive rebounding. Kyla Charles goes 2 for 2 from the arc. Dejanay Carrington, great 3 minutes. It brought us energy, uplifted our bench with that. Letitia really battled. So, overall, really, tremendous team win tonight for us against a team that we truly respect and have such amazing players. And they have 6 Olympians, right? They have 6 Olympians on that team.
Okay, we'll go ahead and take questions. Whoever would like to go first. Howard?
Kurt, at the time you acquired 3 January, she was going to be, and is now a critical part of your overall plan here. I just wonder whether you're starting to see your 3 January that you expected at the time for acquisition.
I mean, let's start the campaign now. 3 January is not going to show up because she doesn't steal the ball. She's not going to block shots. But if there's a better guard defender in the league, I want the players in this league, the 2 guards in this league, to tell them who they would not want to be guarded by. She just does that part every single night, every single possession. She knows the game plan, she competes, and is physical as there is in the league. And then when she has nights like tonight where she makes timely threes in transition, makes reads, makes all the offensive plays, you see why, quietly, how good of a career 3 January's had. And it just adds to that veteran starting group that we have that we feel is really, really special.
Charlotte?
You mentioned your 4 bench players. How big of a night is this for them to collective whole, just kind of heading into the postseason, among the way, just what you were able to get from that?
Yeah, I think they have to come out of this with confidence, but it's just one game. We had a great series against Vegas this year, but we competed really hard. But what subtly tonight did was we won without JJ having a huge game. She came through with a ton of rebounds late and stayed and continued to contribute. But we just had trouble establishing her offensively. And so it proved to our group, you can go toe-to-toe with the best of the best, even when a player might have, not their typical night. So our group has to leave here confidently that even without a huge offensive night from JJ that we won.
Just a quick follow-up on that. Are you seeing, JJ missed those 5 games back in June, just kind of, obviously you talked about how important that was at the time, but now finally seeing that in action a little bit more perhaps?
In Charlotte, repeat that.
Okay, just with JJ missing those games to begin with, now kind of the team coming together without, if she's not having a strong night offensively, how they've grown from that experience.
Yeah, obviously we were forced into that. Never, really supportive of her being with the Bosnian team, but we had to learn to play without her. And so tonight, when she doesn't have that monster game, we know that we can do great things. And we moved DB to the 4 at times today and did a great job on Asia Wilson. Had a couple possessions in a row where she blocked her shot against, again, the reigning MVP. So we just, we really stayed with it as a team tonight. That was a team win tonight.
another thing that may not show up in the box score because candidates are at some points. But the job that Bree Jones did against her, shorter, smaller, I mean, was pretty amazing.
Yeah, as I always will say, Bree Jones is an elite defender that doesn't play by the rim, and it's physicality, it's smartness, it's angles. And again, you don't defend a great low post player with one person. It's all pressure, it's outside, it's different looks, it's different schemes on different plays. But Bree Jones just keeps working. I mean, think about her 3-game stretch. Sylvia, Liz, and now her reward is to go guard Mecca, and so, that's what this league is in the post, and we just love Bree Jones. She's so underrated, unheralded.
And to stick with the post, Asia Wilson does one for against Austin.
Yeah, again, some of that's her, but please give us credit tonight, different looks, JJ's length, Bree Jones's physicality, DeWan is a different type of defender inside, so throwing multiple people at her, again, scheming differently on different plays, and then, Asia had a typical night, not one of her best nights, but please give us some credit how hard we worked on her.
Jacqueline? Going back to Asia, by my quick count, that was the first time in her career in the regular season that she only scored one field goal. So I'm just curious what kind of preparation goes into defending someone like an Asia Wilson and what worked really well tonight.
Yeah, it's shrinking the floor, right? Any great player in this league, when the floor feels real open to you, she can go by most people in this league. She rises up and scores over most people. They get spacing in the low post. So how can we shrink the floor? And again, some of that was us tonight, some of that was her, but hopefully, in a short preparation, our team did a great job shrinking the floor and maybe made, some things more difficult than, on a typical night for her.
And then real quick, Kelsey Plum, this was the first game that you guys played against her in the series. How did she change the scout and what did you see against, keeping her at basement?
Yeah, I don't know if we kept her at bay, but she's a fantastic player that puts pressure on you all the time. She can score at the arc. She's really crafty off the dribble. She's in attack mode. So we try to have a lot of attention to her. There's a lot of focus on her when she's in the game. She's really explosive. As you saw with that big play at the end of half, a momentum play, you miss a field goal and all of a sudden she has a 3-point play. So she's that kind of player. So we're going to give her a lot of attention and she commands it and deserves it.
Oh, go ahead.
Kurt, you've been able to really stifle the Aces offensively, and you see the series, another game, that benchmark was pointing to 70 points or below. And I'm curious too, do you think that the defense, we've said all season long that you're calling hard, but is it starting to also peak at the right time? And what areas too do you think it needs to kind of improve on as the playoffs near?
The thing I think that has improved for us is keeping teams off the foul line. Minnesota is really hard to keep off the foul line. Kept them off the foul line. They have things to say about that after the game. Now an Aces team that, can get to the foul line in bunches. Tonight, kept them off the foul line. I think that's the second game in a row that they shot 12 or less foul shots. And they're an elite team getting to the foul line. So that's a big step for us. The maturity of next play mentality is sometimes you're gonna get beat. Don't compound it and make it a 3-point play. Don't compound getting beat and accumulate fouls, which then at the end of the quarters, all of a sudden they parade for foul. So I like our maturity, I like our growth. As good as we have been defensively, we can still get in those modes where we foul. So I like where we're trending right now, Alexa, that, LA's a different beast, then there's another beast. So, but I would like to see that continue.
Kurt, just in the big picture defensively, throughout your tenure here, your offense has been the thing, just from a metric standpoint, that has kind of been the leader, you know? And I'm just wondering how much you think this team's defensive identity is based around a conscious choice you're making based on personnel, and how much of it is personnel itself?
It's a little both. You know, obviously coming into this year, people didn't, I think probably rightfully, people wondered what our defense would look like when you lose who I believe is the best defender in the world in Alyssa Thomas. But we have a group that loves defense. And I embraced it. And we talked about that there's going to be some teams that are more talented offensively than us. So we were going to have to hang our hat on defense. And if we wanted to surprise people and be special, we were going to have to be really good defensively. We knew we had the anchors at the guard, right? We had Jasmine Thomas and Bree January, who, when you look at the history of this league, two of the better guard defenders that have played for as long as they have. So we have those anchors there, and then we have length. And we thought we could be pretty special and just come together. And it's a conscious effort to coach it that way. And trust me, my whole collegiate career, offensive minded, never thought I got the credit due defensively. Now, you know, came into the league, we brought in some unique offensive sets that we all steal from each other in this league. But, you know, one of the things I hope that I proved is put players in position to be successful, and this team has to be successful through the defensive rebounding areas.
With DeWanna having such a big game tonight, you mentioned being able to win without JJ carrying the load offensively. Is it a matter of aggressiveness for her since she's needed? Is it a matter of she's reading the coverage and seeing an opportunity there? If they're keen on JJ, what do you see when she has a night like tonight when she's needed like that?
DB.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, DB is a very, very unselfish star in this league. She can facilitate some nights and pass up shots to move the ball and get other people's shots. And then there's nights where she knows that we need her and she needs to be more aggressive. She's a terrific scorer, but doesn't have to score, if that makes any sense. And tonight, you know, you could feel it. We weren't always getting JJ the ball where she needed it. That's on me. I have to scheme better on what they were doing to her. And at the same time, then JJ started to press. So you could see DB wanting to be really aggressive. And that was a game plan, stay aggressive in our actions.
Rafi, do you have a question? You'll be the last. In the room. Then do you?
Yes.
I do.
Okay, Rafi, you can go ahead.
Yes, I have a couple, Coach. You managed to win by limited to 3-point shooting and attempts by Las Vegas Aces. How effective will that be going to the next several games against the Los Angeles Sparks team that couldn't really score much against the Mystics?
Yeah, I haven't seen any scores, so I don't know what happened in many of the other games. But Rafi, you know, Las Vegas is going to take many threes. It's not their calling card. They're going to be really patient to play through the paint. But when they take them, they can be really efficient. So guarding the arc for 33% is really important for us. You know, Raquana looks really good out of the gate right there in the first quarter. Scared us. You could tell they were trying to establish her, but we only ended up giving up 1 3 to her. Only gave up 1 3 to Chelsea. So, you know, as good as they are in the paint, if you don't let them have an efficient night at the arc, it's really important.
Thank you.
I do. What the man doing?
You don't?
No,
Oh, I thought you kept saying I do.
no, I said I'm good.
Oh.
And that was still kind of fighting this whole pandemic. That was an incredibly loud crowd tonight, and we needed them. And we've been so good at home the last couple of years when we've been in the building, and I can't thank them enough. That was they were tremendous for us. So just want to give our crowd a shout out.
So tell us how you helped Wilson from 1 to 15. Outside of the obvious supermarks at the end.
I mean, I think it was a collective effort. We all, you know, have a lot of attention towards Asia. I think we did a good job executing our game plan. You know, being in front, doing everything we need, and it's keeping she's been one and done, so, you know, she takes a tough shot and we can figure out push in the transition.
Just put in her position where she was uncomfortable, or was it just part of the defensive game plan that happened?
It was part of the game plan. I think we just wanted to make her take tough shots. You know, whatever shot she's gonna take is gonna be tough.
So I have one for Bree Jones, one for Bree January, which we'll go in order if that works. Bree, you've kind of reinvented yourself offensively, but also defensively the last couple of years. You know, stepping in for JJ last year in a lot of sets, and this year for AT in a lot of sets. Can you just take me through what that process is? Are you watching film of them to, you know, to facilitate that?
I mean, I watch a lot of film, you know, defensively, offensively, just trying to see where I can take advantage of the defense and then, you know, where I can be on defense. But I think it was just being ready, coming into the season last year, knowing that JJ was going to be there, just being ready to step up into that position. And then this year, knowing that AT was going to be out, because, you know, again, being ready, you never know what's going to happen every season. So just doing everything I could in the off season overseas to be ready coming into this season and just continue to grow, continuing to just get better at whatever I can to help this team.
Thank you. And Bree, your defensive intensity and as a team reminds me a lot of some of your Indiana Fever teams. And I'm wondering if you see that correlation between the two, and if you've taken certain lessons from those teams into this group this year.
I mean, yeah, I'm playing on that team with Tamika Catchings, just having that relentless spirit and energy every time and taking pride in your defense. I think our team has bought into that, and you see it, you know, it's a collective unit every time we're playing defense. I mean, you see Breezy sometimes guarding two people behind, you know, in the back line, like everybody has each other's back, you know, and we bought in and we really take pride in our defense and playing hard and, you know, making teams take uncomfortable shots they don't want to take. And, you know, I'm glad I have players like Jazz, Dewana, JJ, Breezy behind me, because it makes my job a whole lot easier, you know, depending on who we're matched up against. Everybody's going to have a big matchup, but we have each other's back and we're trying to help each other whenever we can.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this game seemed like it was one that was destined to be just like a clash of, you know, two of the best teams in the league. It started out really close, and then you guys open it up right in the third quarter. But then like they fought back. They got it to within 4 after you guys opened, I think, a 10 or 12 point lead. But you guys just make timely shots. Dewana hits one, you know, with the shot clock running down. What do you guys attest that to? Just that bend but don't break mentality that you knew they were going to make a run, and you figured Asia's got to get going at some point, but she never really did.
That's good, no answer.
Yeah.
I think we just stuck to our game plan. I think we just continue to do what we do on defense. And like I said, when big games, you have knockdown big shots, and I feel like everybody did that tonight. I feel like Breon got us going in the first half. Kala came in and hit 2 back corner 3 at the end. You had Dejanay get to the basket. I feel like everybody just kind of, you know, hit big shots, but I think it's credit to our defense. I think that kind of get us easy shots, we get basket points, we get post touches, and we got vet players that can read really well and get the ball where it needs to be. Sometimes we can take some bad shots, and that kind of gets us in a little bit of hole, which, you know, calls their comeback. They capitalize on that stuff. But when we take care of the ball and take the shots and kind of bind to our defense, and we're here at home, so those shots can go in.
I know you guys are not looking, you know, too far down the line, right, as the season kind of draws near, but could you guys possibly see this as a finals matchup by any chance? Or is that something that's not even remotely close to your minds right now, or just one game at a time?
Yeah, just one game at a time. With this league, you never know. Every team is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Never know what can happen. You know, who get beat with like any given night. So just one game at a time. Now we're gonna focus on LA. We haven't played them at all this season, which is kind of, you know, weird and rare. So we've been prepared. And we gotta. This game's over with. We got to move on to the next one. You know, our championship team plays the same team, same way every single game. No matter who. That's what we building towards. We're trying to, you know, build become a championship.
Other questions, Charlotte? Kurt gave a shout out to the bench after today's game. What have you guys seen from them, not only tonight, but just the growth of those bench players who are constant?
embracing their role and knowing that when they come off the bench, bringing a spark and making sure they're paying attention and tuned into what's happening in the game. So there's no repeat mistakes, they're capitalizing on what the other team is doing because they're paying attention and ready to come in and impact the game and play to their strengths. And I think they're doing a great job of that. And then, like you said, they're just continuing to grow every day. You know, we had that break during the Olympic break when we came back and we had basically a second training camp. We challenged them and they responded. So I'm just really proud of our bench. You know, they're great and they're great players and we're gonna need them huge.
Jennifer? I know like every WNBA team is different, but just specifically about the Aces, you know, what is tough about their offense and defending them? You guys held them under 70 points for three games now. So can you just talk a little bit about that? What specific challenges do they provide? And, you know, what's really tough about kind of preparing and actually guarding them?
Big. They are a really big team that pushes the ball, that run. You know, usually when you have a big team like that, they're slow, they walk it up, they still pound it, but they get out and run, they rebound really, really well. They've been playing together for a while now, Asia and Liz, and they play, you know, really well off each other. But I think we just focus on getting back in transition because that's happening once and trying to keep them off the free throw line. But they're just a good team and good coach. He knows exactly what the right spots to put them in and they play well together.
This is for Joanna and January. I'm first curious, did you guys like celebrate at all? Did you clinch the playoffs? And do you have bigger goals than that? But obviously clinching is clinching. And as you guys do like start to eventually turn attention to the playoffs, for you guys coming to Connecticut in free agency a few seasons ago, like is this kind of like the team peaking at the right time, the sort of thing you thought could happen when you decided to come here?
No, we didn't celebrate actually. We kind of just in the locker room like, all right, we got practice tomorrow in LA. Great job, great national playoff spot. But I think we're at a point in our careers where we're just hungry. We want to win. When it is, no matter, not even talking about a championship, we just want to win the next game. We want to continue to play well and build toward that. We know that we just can't turn it on in the playoffs. So I think leading up towards that plan right now, it's scary. So no, we just focusing on LA. That's my issue. And
Kurt said he found out a little before an hour before the game that if you won, you clinched. Were you guys aware, or did he tell you guys?
yeah.
He said he wasn't.
He found out.
He definitely told us. We did not know at all. We had no idea. He made us aware. We were like, okay, we just like wait.
Okay, so it wasn't a surprise. All right. Thank you.
Tawana, just, you know what it means to win a championship. How much does a team need to have a defensive identity first established? You know, those teams score, obviously, but defense was your home. And does this team have that kind of defensive identity that wins championships?
I think we'll see when the playoffs come. I think it's a different ballgame, it's a whole different season. But you know, the same defense does well. But I think right now we're just focusing on things to see. We're not even thinking about playoffs and championship yet. It's a different ballgame. It's a different atmosphere. So, like I said, 11 o'clock tomorrow, we're focusing on LA. That's about it. But defense.
I think we have time for one more question.
Yeah, this is a question for all three of you. I just want to ask you, like, since the next game, since you're going to have him focus on the Los Angeles Sparks, I want to know, how do you guys plan to slow down the Ogumic sisters and Erica Wheeler and the rest of the team?
We're gonna do what we always do. We're gonna go and scout and game plan and see what we need to do, and whatever it is that the coaches see to try to slow them down, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna stick to our guns and play our defensive game. So I don't think we're gonna go in and just focus on those three, the whole LA team, and then we're gonna game plan like we always do. That's why we do the Aces, Minnesota, so that's gonna change.
Anyone want to reply? Yeah. Can you tell us about the shirts and what's your pitch for debut for MVP?
Jason had a great season. I think, coming back, not playing in the bubble last season and coming back this year, and she's just making a statement this year, and, we just wanted to rep her and, know that we're behind her 100%, and like, she's our MVP.
Exactly. All day.
And we just almost.